part is horrible. I'm freaking scared. Somebody help him!
BBC Radio 4, the news at 6 o'clock on Sunday the 26th of December. A massive earthquake in the Indian Ocean has sent out surging waves which have lashed the coasts of Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bangladesh, India and the Indonesian island of Sumatra.
I've been searching for my girlfriend ever since I arrived at the hospital. I just want to know where she is. She was the best thing in my whole life.
The real shock and trauma will come afterwards.
Half the people coming to me today are asking me to give them some hope. And I think I should.
I think it's got to the point now where they're not going to be finding any more survivors, that's for sure.
There's a smell of death around here.
That wave is a good 15-20 feet tall. Easy.
Surge of water, 6-8 feet high, came surging right down this road. Probably at a good 10 knots. The death and destruction, pretty bad. There was one body on a Thai lady, maybe 16 years old. And lots of injured people. People got pushed up against buildings, broken arms, broken legs. I saw one lady with a compound fracture to her foot. You're safe now. Right through here. That's it. Can you speak English?
Thank you.
Can you tell me what happened, where you were? Can you tell? I'm glad you're okay. Hello, you ladies speak English? Can you tell me what happened, where you were?
We're at the beach. Got your hand.
Yeah,
I cut my hand.
And you were on the beach at the time?
Yes.
And how much warning did you have? Did people start shouting when they saw the waves?
Yes, when they saw the waves coming.
Uh-huh.
And then everybody ran.
Power poles is a possible exit strategy, but they were shorting out and arcing, so I didn't want to try climbing them. So I knew my best, safest option was to get back to those steps. But if I would have just been another 10 meters down the road, I probably wouldn't have made it to those steps. And I don't know what the outcome would have been. It all seems so serene now.
This is a huge natural disaster. Around the Indian Ocean, at the time that we're recording this, more than 140,000 people have been confirmed dead, and 5 million people have lost their homes. Tonight in a Real Story special, we're on the island of Phuket in Thailand. It's one of Asia's biggest beach resorts, and it's suffered badly. We've been following not just the survivors, the injured and the bereaved, but also volunteers, British people who found themselves caught up in this catastrophe, who decided to help out.
When it's midwinter in Europe,
Who wouldn't want to be on Phuket? Stunning scenery, warm sea, and beaches that seemed as safe as Spain. Until on Boxing Day, another sunny morning, an undersea earthquake, the biggest in 40 years, created a series of massive waves. They raced across the Indian Ocean at up to 500 miles an hour.
They call it a tsunami, a terrifying wave, in this case some 30 feet high. It was triggered by the world's biggest...
The worst hit regions are on the east coast, where waves wiped out entire villages and fishing communities.
Officials say that's why so many people appear to have died there, most of them foreigners. In one hotel...
For the last 7 years, Trevor Fisher has run businesses in Phuket town. But he used to be a nurse in the NHS. When he realized that so many people had died, he had to do something.
Because to not have done anything would have been intolerable. I mean, how would you live with yourself if you'd had those skills that were so obviously needed and didn't do anything to bring them into play or offer them to the people that needed them?
Trevor volunteered at his local hospital. He started helping the friends and families who were looking for people who'd been on the beach.
After people coming to me today are asking me to give them some hope, and I think I should. It's all they've got left.
I'm missing a small boy.
From where?
From PPI. I mean, of course, it's a huge loss, but we saved 2 boys, so we feel privileged. I mean, we could have been wiped out the whole family. So and me and my oldest boy, unbelievably, was swept across the what they call the arm of the peninsula.
Yeah.
So, thank you. I'll bring you that picture.
Please do.
If you can, that would be...
I don't know whether we just jump in and get the others if we can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a tough call.
Bring my digit as well?
Yeah. If you want, she'll be wearing a wedding ring. Probably not useful for identifying the body, but red toenails could be vital.
The tsunami killed more than 5,000 people in Thailand. Half were foreign tourists. Among them was Ragnar, a 2-year-old Norwegian boy. His father Anders was convinced that he was alive somewhere and that he'd find him. Trevor knew that there was a much bigger chance that he'd be giving Anders bad news.
A boy, 2 years old. Right. Okay. Right. And the body is still there. Okay, see it. Right. So I'm going to tell the dad now, but I don't think he wants to get it. Right.
Even if children realized they could drown, it was much harder for them to grab something or to fend off the debris that killed and injured so many. UNICEF estimates that 50,000 children died. It says 1.5 million child survivors now need help to stay alive and protection against people who want to exploit them.
Can't find him.
Trevor knows that if the body doesn't have a distinctive triangular birthmark, it can't be Ragnar.
Okay, so the team we've got in Pangar found a 2-year-old or 2 to 3-year-old blonde body, unrecognisable. Couldn't tell that the kid had a triangular birthmark on his back, but the skin is so discoloured that they couldn't see that. I told the father about that, and he was a bit reluctant to believe it because he doesn't want to let go of the fact, you know, if he's found a body, he knows for sure, right? So he's still trying to keep his hope alive, which is all you can do, and you know, we can't judge him for that, whether he's right or wrong. So then he'd already been told this morning of another blonde body that was found, and so he then needed to find out the body bag number so that he could exclude it. he'd been told by the Norwegian embassy this morning that there was a blonde child, 2 years old, bag number 84. And so then we had to check that it was a different bag number, so it's not the same kid that he's been told of twice, which happens, right? And the new bag number is CMU044, so there is another blonde baby being found. The team who we've got in Cowlack at the moment are now going to the refrigerated morgue to try and take a centimetre measurement, because he knows his son was 96 or 97 centimetres, which is tall for a 2-year-old. So we're trying that way, and probably no point in that. It's going to be DNA because the bodies are recognisable. Okay? Yeah.
On Boxing Day, when it happened, the estimate was that the tsunami had killed 13,000 people. Even then, the world found it hard to grasp the enormity of what the waves had done, until they found more bodies.
And Ian, the guy who went to Cowlack yesterday, said he alone in 3 hours bagged 40 bodies. And as he was bagging one body, 2 more were washing up onto the beach. And he helped to move into trucks 200 plus bodies. And that's just in a couple of hours. And that's just a little bit of beach where he was, you know. And that beach is massive.
The death toll continues to soar. Nearly 60,000 people now dead in Asia.
Now thought to have been more powerful than all the world's earthquakes in the last 5 years.
Authorities in Aceh are struggling to cope with the mounting casualties. Dead bodies are being piled up on the streets of the provincial capital and covered in plastic sheeting, waiting for someone to identify them. Officials say they're increasingly concerned about the situation in the southwest of Aceh.
The disaster didn't stop people coming to Thailand, but this was no holiday. Planes brought in more friends and relations, here to comfort the injured and the bereaved, and to search for the missing. Fergus Miller has taken time off from his job in the property business in London.
We've just arrived in Bangkok. I've come over to see my brother, who is involved in the tsunami incident down on the west coast. He is in Bumrungrad Hospital in Bangkok. He's just been transferred today from Vakira Hospital in Bangkok. He's quite badly injured, so my mother flew out on the previous flight and she's with him at the moment. I've come out to see him. Obviously, you know, the more people that are with him at the moment, the better, really. Well, I first heard about the tsunami on Boxing Day morning at about 8 o'clock in the morning. My sister called me and told me there'd been a big tidal wave, and we weren't sure. We knew I'd spoken to Guy on Christmas Day, and he said he had been on the beach. I just thought he might be on the east coast, or we're hoping he was travelling up to Bangkok on Boxing Day like he said he was, but we weren't sure. And then there was about a period of 25 hours, and I got a call about 6 o'clock the next morning, 5-6 o'clock the next morning, from my mum saying that he had contacted her. I'm extremely relieved that he survived the disaster, but also at the same time I'm extremely worried about his girlfriend, who's still missing.
Fergus heads straight to the hospital. His brother Guy had been on Phuket Island since October. With his girlfriend Chia, he was planning to open a guest house. Guy isn't too bothered about his own serious injuries. The only person on his mind is Chia, who just disappeared. Guy and Chia were staying in a hut on Cowlack